So 107.7 The BONE-A-Fide Brews. Joe Hawk here is the final sit down here with the last two breweries here. Let me just make sure I can make that checked off. Awesome. So I'm actually here right now with the head brewer. You are the head brewer. Brewer, owner. You are one of the owners, right, Jesse?
I'm not one of the owners.
You're not. Okay, so one of the brewers from Hop Dogma on the coast at Half Moon Bay Brewery in Half Moon Bay. Jesse, thank you so much for taking the time to sit down with me.
Thank you.
So, first of all, give us a little brief description of Hop Dogma. Where can people come to enjoy your brews?
Well, Hop Dogma is a really small operation on the coast. Been around for about 4.5 years now. Started with a group of friends who love making beer, literally out of a garage. Where
the original location literally was out of the garage.
Literally out of a garage. In fact, we just moved out of that location 2 weeks ago. So
where can we find the new location, by the way?
Well, right now the new location, we're a little bit homeless at the moment. We have the spot. We're renovating it. Our tap room's going to be closed for a little while here, but it's about a mile from our former location. So it's
just across the highway, right?
Just across the highway in Princeton by the Sea, 270 Capistrano Road, Half Moon Bay. We'll have tap room and brewery there. Hopefully within the next, hope to have the tap room open in March. Yeah. Exactly. Yeah. Hopefully March.
So you guys have been around for almost 5 years right now, and this is your third Firkin Friends Fest, I believe, or how many times?
Sounds about right.
Yeah, sounds about right. With SF Beer Week, do you think it brings a little more extra stress on some breweries trying to get the events up and going, or like what do you think the atmosphere at SF Beer Week is for craft brewers around here?
I think there's a lot of burnout and a lot of stress, but it's also really fun to celebrate craft beer. So
especially right now as we're sitting down, have some brews right now.
It's a marathon. I mean,
it really is.
You got to pace yourself. There's a million events. You know, I've been in the industry now a while on the service side and the brewing side everywhere, and everyone will always ask, because they know I'm a craft beer guy, aren't you excited? It's SF Beer Week. And I'm like, yeah, I'm excited, but to be honest, it's also going to be a lot of work.
It's a yes and no answer.
It's a lot of work, but I still love it. It's so great to see the support and see how many fans of craft beer there are in the Bay Area, and all the businesses now that are like popping up left and right that are serving amazing beer and becoming beer-centric and beer-focused and putting on killer events, including the Firkin Friends Fest here. I mean, this is one of a kind. So.
Yeah, I really don't think there's any other event for SF Beer Week that has this many cask ales on from different breweries at least.
Not that I know of.
Yeah, exactly. So let's actually go ahead and I'm going to dive on into your brew that you brought. And so you guys brought the Greener Pastures Double IPA with guava and passion fruit. Tops off at 8.5% alcohol by volume with 77 IBUs. Yep. So go ahead, tell me a little about this beer.
This is one of my recipes. It was actually the very last beer that came out of our former location, and the last beer produced on that system. We're moving on to bigger, better things, hence the Greener Pastures name. We actually brewed this originally for the Bistro Double IPA Fest in Hayward. It's a little bit of an old school base beer. Kind of wanted it for the judges over there. I think like a more balanced double IPA. So do I.
It definitely drinks like a double IPA. I'll tell you that.
It's a big beer. I mean, it's 8.5%. But this beer is a fairly pale malt base. It's the cask version. It's got juice in it, so it's not super clear. The keg version is crystal.
You can see it's a little on the hazy side. Oh, that is on my laptop. Yeah. Bring me a napkin, please.
But
I cannot do shows showing samples clearly with the reverse camera right here that we have.
The base of this beer is a pale malt base, citrus bomb hops. So we got Simcoe, Amarillo, and Citra exclusively. And those some of my favorite hops. I like the fruit forward hops, but I particularly like the citrus forward hops.
Yeah,
those are my favorites. I do like the tropical hops a lot. I'm a little burnt out on those a little bit, so we decided to do something a little more old school for this. Then we decided what we want to put in the cask, and Dan's just like, let's throw some tropical fruit at it. So
yeah, why not?
Hence the guava and passion fruit.
It definitely adds a little more acidity to it, which is nice, but still very drinkable as well.
Yep. I was a little nervous it would be a little bit too much when. Like I didn't really know how to dose it that well, but that's part of the fun of cask ales. It's just little one-off experiment.
Yeah, why not?
And if it's good, it's great. If it's bad, it's terrible. But I'm pretty pleased with this one. Yeah.
So where can we find Hop Dogma brews, like outside of the tap room? Because I know you guys are still working on a new place, but
so we're still distributing. That's the good news. So you can find us all over the Bay Area right now. We focus mostly on beer-centric, locations up and down the peninsula, San Francisco. Limited in the East Bay, and we have a huge presence in the South Bay and Santa Cruz areas. So
that's interesting, especially from a brewery in Half Moon Bay.
Yeah. So not sure if I can actually advertise all of our retailers here or not, but
it's probably a long list.
But they're the good ones on the peninsula, and they're the good ones in the South Bay.
The good ones for craft brew, by the way.
We got about 80 to 100 regular accounts to deal with in the Bay Area.
That's incredible, by the way.
Our beers get out to Sacramento fairly regularly.
Oh, wow.
To just a small handful of retailers out there.
You guys are usually on tap at the State Fair as well, aren't you?
We usually do the State Fair competitions, the Beer Summit out there. That's a great event, by the way. If you haven't been to the Sacramento Beer Summit, it is the most amazingly put on.
Is that separate from the State Fair?
It is, yeah.
Okay.
Yep. They do it in the middle of summer. You'll melt. They do it right on the Capitol Mall. And
from one guy who's been out in Sacramento during the peak, like mid-July, it gets hot out there, so you definitely need a beer to enjoy. So cool. All right, Jesse, thank you so much once again. So of course, check out Hop Dogma. And how long do you think your new tap room will be up and running?
So that's a question we've been getting a lot, and I honestly wish I would know. Right now, we're really at the mercy of how quickly the ABC and TTB can transfer our permitting. The space has already been renovated. That's already in. It's government agency. It moves as quickly as it does. With that said, they've been incredibly cooperative. Our circumstances were less than ideal. We got the boot from our current building in very short notice.
Very unfortunate, by the way.
So, the ABC and TTB seem pretty sympathetic to that, and they're working hard to get us up and running as quickly as possible again.
Nice.
So, if you want to follow us on Facebook, please do. Hopdogma.com. There's a customer mailing list you can sign up for. It's got regular updates, posting pictures of our renovations, timelines, things like that. So
that's really cool.
Like us on Facebook, follow us there. Untapped, updates on that as well. So,
perfect. Well, I would try to segue into the last brewer, Chad from Benoit Casper, but where did Chad go? He went to the bathroom. So truly, this is live. We're just waiting for one more brewer to come through. Chad from Benoit Casper. Yeah, so once again, we are live here at Free Brewing Company at 3736 Florence Street in Redwood City. It's Thursday night of SF Beer Week. Literally did a long line, or Chad's taking his time in the bathroom right now. Oh, this is great.
I'm going to leave you here awkwardly.
You're going to leave me here awkwardly. Besides the new tap room, do you guys have any new brews coming up or big events?
We've been doing a lot of collaborations for obvious reasons. Our system is down, so we've been collaborating with Benoit Casper.
Okay.
Chad is the Casper half of that, wherever he is. You'll see him in a minute. We've done some collaborations with our friends at EJ Fair in Pittsburgh, Morgan Territory, and Tracy.
Oh, wow.
We were just down in Salinas, did our first collaboration, a big group project with Alvarado Street, Discretion Brewing, most of Santa Cruz area breweries, Corralitos, and ourselves. Cool little get-together.
That's awesome.
But right now, we're not producing for ourselves for the foreseeable future here for probably a good 8 weeks. So good news is we operate out of some contract facilities, so our core brands are still going to be cranking out.
Yeah.
Cans will still be on store shelves. I don't expect that to dwindle at all. So
I hope not.
Yeah, I don't expect it to. It better not. That's half my job. So.
Yeah. I was going to say also, wow, it totally slipped my mind. But we always see you at the Deputy Sheriff Association Brewfest as well.
Yep.
That's always really fun. So a lot of people don't know that the DSA, or Deputy Sheriff Association for San Mateo County, always put on a Brewfest for the breweries in San Mateo County. That's typically in the summer as well.
Yeah, and they have their they host it at their headquarters in downtown Redwood City. It's a fundraiser. it's usually a pretty good intimate, venue. So it's not super crowded.
It's a small
There's
venue.
no
It's
lines.
about the same square footage here.
It's really personal. It's all local. It's only San Mateo County breweries.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorites to do. And the DSA, they've been, very supportive of the local brewing scene. So it's really great to get to cooperate with them on that.
Well, I hate to boot you right now, but finally my last guest is showing up.
Where'd you go, Chad?
Jesse, thank you once again so much. Check out Hop Dogma, all the social media. And once they get their tap room up and running, head on down to Half Moon Bay. Enjoy a nice day on the coast. And now finally joining me, the last brewery, one of the owners, one of the brewers, from Benoit Casper, Chad Casper, out of Richmond, California. Buddy, how are you, dude?
I'm doing great. Dude, nice to see you.
So, first of all, tell us a little about Benoit Casper.
Benoit Casper. So we're a brewery founded by two homebrew enthusiasts, Mark Benoit, Chad Casper. And we were founded in 2014. We were homebrewing together, making some really gnarly batches of IPAs and Belgian beers.
Awesome.
And friends and family were like, how do we get your beer? How do we, can we buy this? Started planting the seed in our head. This was probably, I'd say, 2012. A couple years later, we were presented with the opportunity to have a commercial space where we could actually take our homebrew equipment, set it in there, and get licensed. From there, it was just all about paperwork and getting all the legal stuff out of the way. And then we were pretty much glorified homebrewers in a small commercial space on a barrel and a half system, brewing just really kick-ass beers.
So that is the actual size of your system right now, or have you expanded?
We have expanded, yeah. We quickly realized
it wasn't cutting it.
No, we pretty much yielded about a barrel of beer, maybe a little bit less. So we sold a keg to our local our pub in Richmond, Up and Under. I took a little keg, Mark took a little keg, and we're like, we're about out of beer. What are we going to do? Rebrew it again? So we quickly realized, we're bootstrapped. We couldn't really, go huge macro. So we just went with a 3-barrel setup, electric, and that got us pretty good for a while. And then since we've graduated to a 3.5 barrel, but it's just a little bit better form function for our brewery. And we're working the crap out of that little brew system and pumping out some batches.
And I've actually so Mark actually lives down in San Jose, right?
He's in Santa Clara.
Santa Clara.
Yeah,
so South Bay. You're still up.
And I'm in San Rafael, so our brewery's in Richmond, and our location was pretty much founded from my construction career. So I'm a full-time superintendent for a construction company in the North Bay. We had space there, and my boss is really generous to say, hey, we'll carve out some of our warehouse for you to get started in. Yeah. And since that kicked off, we took over the space completely on our own, and we've been there 3 years now.
So is this like an actual tap room people can come try the beers at?
Yeah. So at first it was warehouse with our all equipment. Yeah. And then we started doing some wholesale accounts, and then we were like, we're not in the path of travel here. We're kind of off the middle of town, not in the greatest location. Will people really even show up? And we opened up our doors one Saturday, and we advertised on I think Facebook and Instagram. Yeah. People started showing up. We're like, wow, we got to do this. Probably within 2 or 3 months, we were doing Friday, Saturday, Sundays now. So basically, it's our brewery. So it's an industrial kind of warehouse setting. We roll open the door, pull down some tables, put out some benches. We got 6 taps pouring, all rotational beers that we do, and we get anywhere from the local neighborhood to people just seeking us out, traveling up, passing through town.
That's always the best.
It's wonderful. Yeah.
So how often do you I've asked a few of the brewers here. How often do you have how many distinctive brews do you think you go through in an entire year? How many distinctive brews do you think you've brewed as a company in general? Do you think?
Yeah, we started out. Our goal was to have 4 kind of flagship beers.
Yeah,
it's going to be a pale ale, a double IPA. We even skipped over the IPA. We just wanted to go low and
straight
low
to double.
high.
Yeah.
We did the kind of same thing on our Belgian. We did a Saison, and we went to a Belgian Tripel. So, starting out with two easy drinkable beers.
So definitely keeping in with like the like German double like kind of theme.
Yeah.
Like, what you knew when you were homebrewing?
Yeah, we kind of took some of the beers we really gravitated around. Some of our inspiration was Pliny the Elder, Triple Carmelite.
When you're in the Bay Area, you can't go wrong with inspiring yourself an inspired beer off of Pliny the Elder, right?
Oh, for sure. I mean, that's just a gold standard. We love Saison DuPont. That's one of my classic benchmark Saisons. So I modeled a homebrew recipe after that. Took kind of a lot of messing around with the yeast to get what I wanted out of it, and now it's a commercial beer that we do, Saison de Casper. So we do keep some of those core beers are still in our rotation, but since then we've got another about 40 different styles and brands of beer that we do.
Wow!
And some of them rotate back, and some are just one-hit wonders, but they're all we have fun doing it.
Yeah.
We brought on a brewer, Tim Clare, who's added a little bit of twist to some recipes that we've had. He brought in a rye IPA, which is just wonderful, and a Vienna lager, which we brewed a home brew.
Oh, okay. He's the one who brought the Vienna, huh?
Yeah, so we did that. He actually asked us to brew just a one-off batch for his wedding.
Yeah.
So we did a small batch of it, and it turned out awesome. And we're like, we got to do this again. So
we've had the Vienna lager here at Free Will. It's always so delicious, so crisp.
Yeah. So I mean, we're not afraid to get into the lagers. We do a Pilsner, a Bohemian Pilsner. We do the Vienna lager. We do an alt beer. So our portfolio is pretty
extensive.
Yeah, it's pretty extensive, and I think that kind of speaks to the market. Everybody's loving to see different beers come out of breweries, and we're trying to, stay true to some traditional styles and then push the envelope on some other ones, but keeping a balance there.
Yeah. So speaking of different beers, let's go ahead and reach and not spill my sample of what you guys brought. So you guys brought the Good Hop Black Rye IPA, which I'm guessing it's a collaboration with the Good Hop.
It is. So our friend Melissa, she's been just great as a retail establishment and as a friend and a brewer. So one thing, she approached us a couple of years ago to do a collaboration because her background is in brewing, and she has the Good Hop in Oakland. So she's like, I'd love to do a collaboration beer where we can put on tap here. And we came up, I think in 2016 we came up with this recipe. And it came.
We got a little hecklers going on.
It was like some of her input, some of our input. She came out and brewed with us on a small batch, and we basically kind of took a style that's. I think it does really good in the winter, because most of the time these are coming out near Beer Week when we do this style, and it's it's an IPA, but it's got those darker malts in it.
You definitely get a nice, almost like rye dankness on the nose, especially.
Yeah.
Like it's like I hate to say it, but it definitely smells like freaking weed, which California now it's legal, but it smells amazing. Definitely not. Yeah, definitely has that winter beer kind of like spiciness to it, especially from the rye as well.
Yeah, it's I love it. It's just a good twist. Like we never. Originally never started out. We never did any stouts, any porters, and the darkest beer we did was this beer. Now we actually brought in a stout, and we did a Baltic porter recently.
And you've done the black IPAs before as well. I think you did one for last year's.
We did, yeah. I think we just did a black one. I don't think we had the rye in it, but this year we reverted back to our 2016 collaboration with her. We just upped the ante on the hops on this one. Just for the cask, we did about 4 ounces in a little pin of Amarillo hops. So hence the kind of cloudiness of that beer because it's been soaking in those hops for a few days.
Yeah.
But that's a good twist on it. We do serve that on draft on some accounts during Beer Week.
Yeah.
And it's just a good. It's kind of a good alternative to the lighter IPAs you see out there, and it's if you like stouts and you like IPAs, this is your beer.
Yeah, best of both worlds, right? So where can we find Benoit Casper beer? Are you in stores? Are you on tap? Are you both?
We are. We're predominantly, at this point is all draft accounts.
Okay.
Besides coming to our brewery, you'll get, if you come to our brewery Friday, Saturday, Sundays, we have a lot of beers you don't normally see out and about. Some tap rooms only beers, but out and about, we've got a good Peninsula and South Bay base right now. Most of our accounts are in the East Bay, Oakland, Berkeley, a little bit in Alameda. We pretty much, we're a small brewery. We want about a 50-mile radius footprint. Pepper some areas like North Bay, Marin. Concentrate a little bit more in South Bay and East Bay. Kind of like, centric to like some of the places Mark likes down here and I like up there. So kind of gets a good mix that are all self-distributed. So we run our truck down once a week.
Yeah.
It's all about fresh beer, new styles, mixing with some of the old classics that we do, and keeping it fresh and keeping it alive.
Do you think you'll ever slide on into the New England hazy IPA like everyone else is?
It's definitely a trend, but I think it's here to stay. I think there is a place for these hazy beers. I like to call them, West Coast hazy on our end because we're really
we're not New England.
We're doing things, you wouldn't consider a classic New England style. I'm thinking when I think classic New England, even towards the last maybe 3 or 4 years, Heady Topper, comes to mind, right?
Yeah.
I think we're pushing the envelope with just, basically lighter malt bills. Still getting that east. A lot of the yeast is East Coast,
Yeah, it is.
Kind of, so you get that. If anything, it's more yeast centric for East Coast. The hops are still these, either dank or juicy West Coast IPAs. A lot of people are using New Zealand hops now, Australian hops, right?
Yeah.
So we
got a little more fruit to them.
Yeah, we did one recently, and we did Cloudy Carl, and that was a big hit down here. It was just named after Carl the Fog.
Yeah, of course, yeah. For all those who don't know, we have our own fog.
Yes, we have our own fog with his own Twitter account. So
it's ridiculous.
So anyway, Carl went off great.
Yeah.
I mean, the beer sold out quick, just like we'd want it. If I'm going to do a hazy beer, I want to brew it with a lot of fresh hops. I'll put it, an English yeast strain in there. I don't want it so thick that you've got particles sitting on the back of your tongue.
Yeah.
Or a lot of sediment in there, and I want it to sell quickly. So that was one of those examples where it was just a great quick turn beer. It was fun doing it, but damn, if it didn't take a lot of hops to brew and it costs a lot of money to make.
I bet.
So I do think it's a cool thing. We did a recent collaboration with Hop Dogma and Morgan Territory, and it was our first can release.
Oh, nice.
And that was really cool.
That's excellent.
And it just came out, so I don't know how much longer you're going to see the cans around, but we've already sold ours. It was called The Dog Ate My Findings. So, most all brewers will get this. I'll get this, joke, but it's full of cloudy beer. It's full of little dankness, little juiciness in it. Pours great in a can. It'll be gone before you have to worry about any problems with sediment in cans and all that. So I think hazy trends are here to stay.
Yeah.
But I think brewers got to be careful how they execute them.
Exactly. All right. Well, Chad, thank you so much, dude, for sitting down. It's a pleasure. So that's it. We sat down with every brewer or every representative from all 9 breweries here at Firkin Friends Fest 2018. We'll, of course, have another one. Well, Free will have another one for Silicon Valley Beer Week. But for this, the premiere episodes of BONE-A-Fide Brews, there's a lot more coming your way. My name is Joe Hawk. Thank you so much for tuning in for 107 The Bone and for all of us here at Free Will Brewing Company and Firkin Friends Fest. Cheers. Salud.